Alright guys, what's happening? I'm going to be starting the JavaScript tutorial series, which is going to go over everything JavaScript. I've been wanting to put this together for a while, and I've actually started a old JavaScript tutorial series. However, we're going to be going forward with a brand new one here. So basically, guys, we have JavaScript, the language that interacts the website, the programming language of the internet. There's a lot of different things that JavaScript does. I'm not going to go into all the languages and frameworks. I'm going to go more into what JavaScript is and how JavaScript works for the web, and then go into a little bit of actual programming ourselves so that we can have a good idea of exactly how JavaScript works. So guys, why don't we take a look here? As you can see, I have CodePen open, which is just a programming language or a programming browser where you can do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, I think some Sass and less as well. So let's go in here and just look at what is JavaScript. So we're going to start by just saying that JavaScript is script. So basically, whenever, and I'm not going to go into HTML, I'm not going to go into CSS and stuff, this is strictly JavaScript. So as you can see here, these are the script tags, and I actually put them in the JavaScript here, but they would go over here in the HTML. So basically what that is creating is where we're able to put JavaScript in and it will interact. So here we have our H1 tag, you can see it, here's our browser and here's our console. I might need to move this to clear the console. But let's go in here and let's just go over variables quick. Variables are going to be anything that starts with var and it holds a set of data. So variables are containers for data. They can be different types. So we have variables that can be either what's called so let's give a name, I'm sorry. Let's go start with variable name and let's equal that to Steve. So this is what we call a string. Anything within quotes of double or single, you will find that to be a variable string. That just basically means anything that's characters or text. We also have numbers, so anything that's var num1 equals 12 is going to be assigning this variable the number 12. So that's another one. We also have booleans, which is true and false. We'll go more into detail with that later, and a couple other different variable types like arrays. But basically what you're going to see is a majority are going to be strings and numbers, and that's the foundations of JavaScript. So naming variables, there's a few important metrics that you need to meet or rules that you need to meet. And basically the number one is that you need to start everything with lowercase. So even if you're going to have a multiple word, you can say number 2 and then add the text, but make a capital for the second word. So here we go, variable number 3. And basically what that's doing is creating these as variables, so we can assign this as equals 2, and we can assign this as equals 3. And then if we go something, and I'll go over this in a minute, Console.log, which is what is going to push this down here to the browser, and we go num2 plus num3, and we should get here in our output we have 5, and I can actually clear this just to make it a little more clean to read, but we have 5 down here. And that's basically printing that out. I could even go here and I could go I'm sorry, I'd actually have to add it over here in the JavaScript. But I could go document.write and we will go num2 plus num3. And what you'll see here is that it's printed here. Here's our browser. As you can tell, here's the JavaScript, and so Console.log, this goes into the next step. Console.log is where we push anything to the web browser. I'm sorry, to the web console. So anything down here that you can inspect, and you'll pull up your web console, and you'll be able to test your JavaScript there. Document.write is where it actually pushes it to the web browser. so you're able to access that information with. So what are the difference? We'll be going into more details on specifics of how JavaScript works and more of how all of this kind of comes together. But this is just a real quick rundown of some of like the scripts, how it pulls into the web browser, a couple things with variables, and then a couple ways to push the data to the console or to the browser. So guys, I hope you enjoyed that first tutorial here of JavaScript. We're going to be going into a lot more detail. This is going to be a big series, so if you have any questions or want to leave any comments, please feel free. We'll definitely reach back, and take care. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.